So next and final, let's move to the session with our students. Today, we've got three excellent students, three excellent representatives of Okayama University. From your left, Aliana, Betty, and Skyer. Our students have prepared presentations to introduce themselves and their lives at Okayama University. So after their presentations, I will be asking some more questions to get to know them better. Let's start with presentations. And we will start with Aliana. Aliana, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Slides, please. So once again, good afternoon. My name is Aliana, and I am from the Global Discovery Program. So I am currently an undergraduate student, and I have been here for about 3 years. So currently I am in my 4th year. And there are two main reasons as to why I chose to be in Japan, and specifically Okayama University. The first reason is, of course, the program that I am currently in, which is Discovery Program for Global Learners. And the good thing about this is that I get to study in Japan, but I get to learn in English. Furthermore, another really main reason as to why I am studying here in Okayama University in the GDP program is because of the diversity. In my classes, in the courses that I take, not only do I have friends from Japan, because obviously I'm in Japan, but also I do get to meet a lot of people and make new friends from all around the world. And so the people that I usually hang out with are from Indonesia, Thailand, some are from the United States, and so many more places. And in my student life, of course, one of the things that I do, of course, is to study. And so I major in business and nonprofit management. And here are some photos of the campus. And besides this, I do have extracurriculars. I do join business competitions every now and then. And I think it's a really great opportunity to be able to do these kinds of things while studying in university. And besides academic life, I do do other stuffs during the spring break or the summer break, and this is traveling. And so this is one of the things that I love the most. And I've been to places in Okayama Prefecture, but I've also been to other prefectures, which is really nice. And furthermore, I do other things other than traveling, of course, which is going sports or visiting cafes and restaurants and having picnics. And what I love about Japan is, of course, the food. So here are a few photos of food that you might love to visit if you do come. And lastly, the message that I do have for everybody is most likely more like a question is, do you really want to study in Japan? I think it's very important to consider that Japan is a totally different place, and if you will be all right to be away from home. But nevertheless, Okayama is a nice place to study, travel, make friends, and experience an eventful university life. And of course, it's fun to get to know a lot of international students around the world. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you come to Okayama University. Thank you.
Thank you, Aliana. And next one is Betty, please.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SAKURA Science Exchange Program, Okayama University Visit. My name is Fu Xiaoyi. I once worked in a game company in Shenzhen for 2.5 years. Mainly worked on game designing. Currently, I am studying for my master's degree in educational psychology at Okayama University. Yeah, okay, let me to introduce you more about my study. My study is mainly about gamification, which applies game elements to learning to improve learning efficiency. The Graduate School of Education has its featured study, project-based learning. where students could choose their own interested project to study in groups. And talking about why I come to Japan and choose Okayama University, the first reason is the culture. I was very interested in games since I was a child, and I worked in a game company for a while. The game industry in Japan is well developed, which drove me to study in Japan. There are a lot of support for foreign students to study Japanese at Okayama University, such as the tutor system and El Cafe. Even for a non-Japanese major student like me, I can get through the period when I first came to Japan without any worries. The teachers and the students supported me in my study and life. And also the safety reason. Okayama is a very pleasant place to live, with few earthquakes and other natural disasters, and a beautiful natural environment close to the Seto Inland Sea. Also, the transportation and the shopping around the school is very convenient, and the cost of living is very cheap. Life in Okayama is pretty fascinating. I've met a lot of new friends and seen beautiful views. Coming to Okayama University has taught me to accept the differences of others and has broadened my horizons. If you want to become the person you most wanted to be, come to Okayama University. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Betty. And finally, the last presentation by Skyer. Skyer, please.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Tian Tian. I'm from China, and I'm a PhD student from the Graduate School of the Natural Science and Technologies. Today, it's my honor to, as a PhD student representative, to share with my experience in Okayama University. So first of all, I'd like to share with you why did I come to Okayama University. I come to Okayama University to realize my research dream, because Okayama University has a profound research strength, especially my supervisor, Professor Yasushi Nishara. So he is a renowned organic chemical chemists in world, and up to now we have published more than 108 papers in international journals. And on the other hand, about the test of the experiment is very convenient, such as the GC-MAS, HPLC or GPC, and the 3-NMR instrument is very convenient to test the experiment. And on the other hand, I'd like to share with you my life in Okayama University. So if you are a student in Okayama University, you can make comfortable of the atmosphere, because you will have the clear bench and the wide desk, and you can make some friends. And this is my group members, and they are very friendly. And this is my daily experiment. It's a column chromatography, and you can see this blue part. This is my chemical product, and it can be irradiated by UV lamp and gives a colorful color. And finally, I like to share with you the different scenery and the food in Okayama University and Japan. So maybe you have known about the Korakuen and the Okayama Castle. It's a landmark of Okayama, and the Fuji Mountain is very famous and the symbol of Japan. And it's my favorite Japanese food is a ramen, the mazesoba. In all, it's a very worthwhile to study in Okayama University. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Skyer. Thank you for your wonderful presentations, guys. And now it's time for questions. So question number 1, and please, when answering, let's move from Skyer to Aliana, okay? So question number 1, why did you become interested in Japan in the first place? Why was it Japan and not some other country? Well, Betty has already mentioned the reason why, but I would like you to elaborate, please. So let's start with Geyer.
Okay. As I mentioned after my point, my first choice to come Okayama University is due to its profound research strengths. Because for the graduate students, especially PhD students, the research strength is very important, and it can let me get so many grades and the important results to publish some journals and so on. So that's all.
Thank you. And Betty next, please.
Thank you. As I mentioned before, that I was really interested in games. I played Nintendo games all day long since I was a child. And after my graduation, I worked in a game company for a while. So another reason is that the financial issue. I think the study fee in Japan is cheaper rather than other countries like England or United States. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Aliana, please.
Thank you for the question. For me, I think one of the main reasons as to why I came to Japan, specifically Okayama, is because of the location and the convenience. So it's very near to where I'm from in the Philippines. But also another reason as to why I'm in Japan is because I do like the culture here. I do like the food. I like how it's very safe. And so I think it was a good option to come to Japan, Okayama University. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's move to the next question. What challenges did you face living and studying in Japan? Well, I'm a foreigner myself, so I know that there are some challenges. So could you give some examples? Let's start with Geyer again.
Okay, about the challenge you come to Japan, I think the first challenge is a language challenge. So such as me, I just study a little Japanese, but I think it doesn't matter. A simple English is okay. And in another word, it can make your Japanese make much progress. So that's all.
Thank you. And Betty?
Yeah, I feel the same with Skyler. The first challenge I met is the language challenge. Like we don't have so much keigo. It's a polite language which you speak to your professor or the people who is older than you in Chinese. So it really took me a lot of time to study it. But thanks to the Okayama University's language support, the pre-master course that I take have taught me a lot about that, and I can now speak frequently. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And Aliana, please.
Similar to what Skyer and Betty has just mentioned, one of the main challenges that I faced here in Japan is the language barrier. So I did not study Japanese at all before coming here, but I did take the language classes in university. And eventually I was able to somewhat be able to speak daily Japanese. But another challenge that I've had here is the public transportation. It's very, very confusing, especially with the language barrier, because I cannot understand the kanjis. But I think since I've been here for 3 years, I've gotten used to it, and it's become a daily part of my life, and it's very nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Aliana. And I have 2 more questions. And so let's go with question number 3. What are you planning to do after your graduation? Are you planning to stay in Japan, or are you planning to go back home? Or would you like to go to some other place? And again, with Geyer, please.
Okay, as for me, I plan to contribute in my research field after my graduation, and either as a postdoctoral or work in some university. And about to stay in Japan, I'm willing to stay in Japan after the graduation, because the research atmosphere of Japan is very nice. So I think it's a good choice. That's all.
I agree. Thank you, Skyer. And next one is Betty, please.
Okay, right now I'd like to stay in Japan. I may continue my work in the game industrial. I think one good thing that I think the Japan has is that I have so much opportunities. Like the whole world is expanded in front of me. I may go to I can go to another country in a few years. But now I'd like to rather stay in Japan. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Betty. And Aliana, please.
So currently I'm in my 4th year of undergraduate studies, and usually at this time I should be going job hunting, and I would love to stay in Japan and find work here and stay here for a while. But I would also like to pursue a master's degree. I'm not really sure if I would love to stay in Japan, but I would be willing to stay in Japan. But I would, since as I have mentioned, I do love to travel, so I would love to go to another country as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And finally, the 4th question. What do you like about Japan the most? You've named a lot of things, but could you please name 1 or 2 the things that you like the most? Please, Skyer.
Okay. How to say? My favorite things in Japan is no doubt the delicious food, such as the ramen and the barbecue. It's very different between the China or other countries. And another one is Japanese persons. I think they are very politely and friendly and make me very enjoyment my communication. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. And Betty, please.
Yeah, I think one thing that I like most in Japan, rather than besides the games, is the study environment. Is really freedom that my professor allowed me to do that I like to study, and also the project-based learning that I mentioned before, that we can choose the topics we're interested or whatever we like to do. And the other thing that I like is the beautiful environment in Japan. I'm not talking about the sightseeing, it's the daily life. When I see a tree or a normal grass, I feel really attracted to me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Betty. And finally, Aliana.
So for me, one of the things that I like the most about Japan is the culture itself. I like how the culture is very preserved here. I do like to sightsee a lot, and so I can observe just how very Japanese everything is. So like from the houses as well as like the shrines and everything in general. It's very wonderful to see that each prefecture has their own thing that's very that makes them famous for something. And another thing would be the food, and this also goes to how very rich it is and how very Japanese it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Aliana. Unfortunately, we don't have much time, so we have to close. And guys, thank you for sharing your experiences and for joining us today. Thank you very much.